Hello, hi, Dr. Marianne Trent here of Good Thinking Psychological Services. I hope you are well, whatever kind of day you are having, and wherever I happen to be finding you in your world today, or whenever you are watching this. You'll be pleased to know that the bin men have already been, so we're not going to be disturbed by the bin men today, which is perhaps the first time since I have been live. If someone can just give me a like or a hello to let me know that you are watching, that would be lovely. I know there's a 20-second delay, so anytime you're ready, please do that. Okay, so as you may have seen from your bot message, thank you for that like, whoever that was, thank you, I saw that. As you may have seen from your bot message on your messenger, I am going to be thinking with you today about obsessive thoughts and OCD. Okay, if you don't know what I mean by a messenger bot notification and you think, that would be good, I'd like to be notified every time Marianne goes live, then what I will do is I'll pop a link in this video after it's finished, or you can find one on my feed as well as you listen, and you can register. I think I shared that earlier, in fact. And then every time I go live, you'll be sent a messenger notification, and you can either watch that live then or watch on catch up. Okay. So let's talk about OCD. Oh, hello. And how are you doing? I am good, thank you guys. Hope you are okay too. It's always really nice to see people are engaged and saying hello, so thank you for that. So when do obsessive thoughts become OCD and when do they become problematic? So all of us as humans have impulsive and intrusive thoughts. For example, I just imagined throwing cabbages at my neighbour's windows, which I have no interest in doing. And I've never said that before. I've never thought that before. That is novel. Every time I think about impulsive and intrusive thoughts, I pick something random from the sandstorm of my brain. And why I say sandstorm is because if you can imagine, if I'd thought about this better, I'd have brought it with me. I've got this kind of arty picture thing that's like got sand and water in it, and you turn it upside down and it does a random pattern every time. You can't predict it, you can't control it. I'll admit it used to work a little bit better before my youngest child got his hands on it and shook it, because he's a rogue. He destroys things. He breaks everything. He broke a toy just yesterday because he loves stuff. He loves the world, and he just likes to explore every angle and every aspect of it. So it did work a little bit better before he got his hands on it, but it does still work enough to look pretty and demonstrate my point, had I thought to bring it with me. So what happens is that sometimes as a human, we can overemphasize the importance of our impulsive and our intrusive thoughts. So, you know, if I began to give serious considerment to the fact that I might start to throw cabbages at people, then maybe one of the first things that I would do would be to not buy cabbages, because I cannot be trusted around cabbages. Me and cabbages are clearly risky. However, that might not cut the mustard for my intrusive thoughts. That might not keep them at bay forever. And so what I would need to do in order to satisfy that is to up the ante a little bit. So perhaps not buying cabbages wouldn't be enough, but avoiding all thoughts of cabbages, avoiding going to anyone's house who regularly buys cabbages, because what if I stole that cabbage? Then I could chuck it at my neighbour's windows, and that might lead to me being, you know, institutionalised or arrested for breach of the cabbage peace, and I don't want that, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But then, you know, before too long I start to think that really I could be a threat. You know, I could break the windows with those cabbages, and that could be awful. So just avoiding going to people's houses is not enough. So what I would do is I would make sure that I never walk past their house on, you know, too close to their house, in case I, you know, can't control myself from throwing things at their windows. And then before you know it, actually I can't be trusted to even walk past their house on the other side of the street. And so I decide that my world is limited to, you know, to here and here in the street. So perhaps I'd have to go out the street the other way if that was an option where I live, which it's not. But you see what I mean? I would be satisfying my brain to think, well, you're not going to attack anybody with cabbages today, because I'm not going to give you the opportunity to do that because you are a cabbage rebel. But before you know it, I'm too worried to answer the door to the postman in case I push past him and take his post off him and fling it at the door because I haven't got any cabbages. Or, what if, God forbid, one of those organic vegetable boxes was being delivered and I then took all the cabbages and chucked them at that poor family's window. So it's a silly example, but and it's not to minimize or reduce any of the intrusive thoughts that anybody has, but what we've done there is we've overemphasized the importance of those intrusive thoughts. So at no point had anybody ever said, well, Marianne, do you want to throw cabbages at your neighbour's windows? Do you think there's a chance that you really might do that? And I'd have been horrified. No, I really don't want to do that. They're nice people, and I'm not a cabbage throwing sort of person. But what happens is I've overemphasised the importance of that intrusive thought, because I've thought, well, if I've had that, there must be a reason for that. I must be a danger when cabbages are around. But actually, it's really normal that we'll have those intrusive thoughts. So, why would I give any more credence to an intrusive, impulsive thought about cabbages than I would about, X, Y, Z? And that, in a nutshell, is kind of OCD. So what it is that we have an intrusive thought. That thought has a connection to us, which is disturbing or distressing. And in order to protect against that thought, or the fear, or the sense of what will happen if we don't protect ourselves or others, we put some other action in place to keep us safe, or to keep everyone else safe, or to stop ourselves from thinking or feeling that. So that's the same with, I'm not going to do it now because it'll probably break the light, but people who kind of switch on and off the light until it feels just right. It's to kind of distract themselves from accessing those thoughts until they get the sense of safety. It's the same with people who like things exactly lined up. I am not one of those people. My husband kind of is. He likes a neat and tidy cupboard, but my cupboards are an abomination. I watched the other day, I was feeling a bit worn out, and I watched some truly trashy TV for the first time in a long time, and I watched some American people organising Reese Witherspoon's cupboards. Seriously, that's a thing apparently. But I quite enjoyed the mindless washing over me as I watched a bit of trash. I'm not the sort of person who has pretty blue boxes with neatly handwritten labels. I would enjoy it, and I would enjoy it for a good couple of weeks until I got lazy again and started flinging things in random boxes or different holes and different bits. And yeah, but my husband is, neat and tidy. Not like me. He despairs of me. But I'm pretty good at my job. And I think that maybe that's something about my non-ordered, systematic mind that is able to do that. So embrace your strengths. Don't just think about the things that you wish weren't around for you. I'm all right with being messy. I'm not messy. I know there's a member of my family watching. I'm not messy, am I? I'm just, I'm all right with being who I am. And my house is not a tip. I'm not, I'm not awful. But I'm not as tidy as my husband, and he does despair about that. Anyway, so, somebody who cleans, for example, somebody who bleaches the walls in their house and cleans for 8 hours, that's like an OCD type reaction, because they kind of are trying to stop themselves and distract themselves from connecting to those thoughts. Does that make sense? Has anyone found this at all useful to think about in terms of OCD? Has anyone got any questions about OCD, or anything that they would like to ask or like me to expand upon? And like I said, I know there's a 20-minute delay. That would be really awful, wouldn't it? Radio silence. So 20-second delay. So I will just allow a period of time. And what I will do is I will fill. So yesterday you may have caught that I'd very excitingly had an article published by a grief charity called At a Loss, and that was about ways to cope with grief at Christmas. So do check that out, either through the At a Loss website, or I shared it on my social media yesterday, and it's a really nice piece and people have said lots of nice things about it, so that's really good. Also, next week, if you like what I talk about and you like the way I talk about it, why not come along to my free 5-day challenge? It is for people, well, the aim is that it's for people who have experienced difficult childhoods or difficult aspects of their childhood, and that it still affects them in adulthood. So I will also pop a registration link to that challenge in my post once I've finished this, or the post before this one, I think, had a link on it as well. So it's a free 5-day challenge where you will learn tips and strategies to help yourself feel better in time for Christmas. Who doesn't want that? And it's totally free. And what you will get during that challenge is daily tips to practice. So it's kind of called tasks, but daily tips and tasks to do. And then each evening I will be going live on my Facebook for about an hour. And it all takes place within the protected, safe Facebook group. So it's not on this main one that anyone can come along to. You have to be registered for the challenge. So a really exciting opportunity to feel better for free and work with me for free for 5 days, which is really cool. So somebody says, my cupboards are the same. I have a lived-in house too. Good. I've been to your house, and whenever I've been there, it's impeccable. But I appreciate that when you've been to my house, it's perhaps a little tidier as well. Okay. Oh, I've got lots of lovely people watching. So I really hope that that's been useful. And like I said, I do these ask, well, I didn't say, but I will say now. I do these Ask Me Anything kind of lives. So it's called Good Thinking Live. I do these every week, and I try to pick up a flavour of what's going on in the world, or people ask me questions and I talk to you about it. So if you've got anything you would like me to muse over or give you like a psychological insight into either adult mental health, child mental health, parenting, grief, whatever you like, really, just get in touch. Get in touch, not touch, get in touch, and I will be happy to help. I hope you have a good rest of day, whatever you're up to. Take care. Speak to you next time. Bye.